Yo, people, what is poppin'? You got a Pokemon Librarian here. Now, you didn't know this, but I know this, and now you know this. And maybe you did know this. Doesn't matter. Look, Chien-Pao and Zamazenta-Crowned both were banned yesterday at 6 p.m. EST. I think that's EST. I might be wrong. Whatever. They were banned yesterday. I don't think Showdown has updated yet, though, because I was playing around a little bit today. I've been waiting for the ladder to update, and I saw somebody using Chien-Pao against me. I barely beat them, but, you know, that's how it is. But now that this thing is, those two things are gone, it's going to be really good for everybody. As we all know, Magearna was banned, and so was Regieleki. Regieleki was the fastest band in the universe. That boy said, oh, well, you're really broken, and left the tier very quickly. So let's go ahead and read about this. Let's do a little bit of discussion. I'd like to see what your comments, what your thoughts are on this. This is actually really healthy. This is very healthy for the metagame, and I don't think anyone should have ever said otherwise that these shouldn't be banned. Like, so we're going to go ahead and start off. Let's go ahead and read. So, the Scarlet and Violet OU Tiering Council has been monitoring the tiering survey. We like to conduct regular surveys to gauge community sentiment on the metagame, but this survey has generated irregular response patterns admittedly. Upon seeing the results over the first couple of days, we have determined that it is most appropriate to expedite our timeline through conducting another emergency vote. You might know Regieleki was banned last week, and blah 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 led to a unanimous vote to ban it. This weekend we banned Magearna, and we expect that we'll vote again in the coming weekend. However, this metagame's been continued response to these bans, and the player base is sweeping sentiments expressed across the survey, with 2,000 people taking part in it, as well as over 100 of them qualified, meaning very high ELO, or council members. Chien-Pao currently had the highest mark of any Pokemon in the history of our surveys, while Zamazenta-Crowned only trailed by a small amount, leaving both firmly entrenched in territory we normally view as the quick ban zone. So Zamazenta Hero is a distant third and fell slightly outside of this threshold. We'll be voting again this weekend on Zamazenta Hero and other radar-worthy praises. With this in mind, we voted the following fashion to both ban Chien-Pao and Zamazenta, and it was completely unanimous by all the council, which is great. So let's talk about Chien-Pao for a second before I read what they had to say. So Chien-Pao has an ability that anything else that is not Chien-Pao loses 25% of its defense. You cannot remove this. It is just, it's there. It's permanent. It's not even like a normal stat debuff. It just happens. So because of that, and because of its massive physical attack, it can just destroy things. I've had it where max defense Corviknight cannot switch into this thing. Not because of the flinch threat, but because if rocks are up and you don't have leftovers on Corvi, it can be a done deal. And also, if you get the defense drop, oh well, that Corviknight's dead on the next hit. It doesn't matter. Like, Chien-Pao had no drawback moves. Icicle Crash, Crunch, and it can just spam them the entire game. Every time it comes in, it can just hit that, take about half from some Pokemon, leave, come back and do the same thing again later. The only problem is the thing that took half, now it can't take half again because it just didn't heal up enough. And so it's not a counter anymore. And that's the problem. So it just broke teams down really quick. And that's not just the only problem with it. It's also faster than dang near the entire tier. You gotta think about it. It has base 135 speed. Chien-Pao over here is just doing the most. It's absolutely ridiculous that Chien-Pao was ever allowed back in the tier. Like, I just don't get it. Like, what are we supposed to do? Run defensive Urshifu? It's not a thing. No, we're not doing that. So, yeah, no. Thankfully, this thing is banned. And the other scary part about it is, if you're not running Choice Band, you're running heavy-duty boots with Swords Dance. And with Swords Dance, it's like, oh, they swapped? Haha, this is at +2 now. Everything's gone. Like, that's literally what it is. And also having Terra type and its kit to help, you know, it can change it to a fighting type for Sacred Sword Stab. Crunch gets that extra boost, making it essentially adaptability Crunch. Like, it's insane. Absolutely insane Pokemon. So yeah, what they had to say is Chien-Pao has effectively been able to handpick its own counters throughout the entire metagame due to its stab coverage, amplified by the possibility for attack boosting items such as an offensive terrestrialization choice, such as Dark type, a choice band, a boost from Choice Band, or getting a Swords Dance under its belt can lead to it being uncounterable, which is 100% true. And this does not get into how naturally fast it is in a metagame where offense is king. While it was not quite able to beat Zamazenta forms, and it was weak to Stealth Rock, Chien-Pao's offensive arsenal allowed it to have hardly any counterplay, and what did qualify was not remarkably consistent. Like I said, you have Urshifu, Quaquaval. Those are basically it. I'm not going to say Samurott was it. Hisuian Samurott, yes, it could do the job, but then you have to think about, oh, well, it's just going to run the Sacred Sword move. What if that happens? What if it Sacred Swords me? Or it just can flinch you. It's still doing a lot. It's a strong Pokemon. But yeah, as much as we wanted to get out of the format to match the desires of our player base and help develop a rapidly shifting metagame in the best fashion possible. Yeah, I'm really glad they did that. This probably needed to be banned alongside Regieleki and Magearna. I don't even know what they were thinking when they said Magearna was going to be okay. Like, ever since Magearna came out, that thing has been broken. I just don't see it. Anyway, in the metagame known as Scarlet and Violet, we have this thing called Iron Defense Body Press Simulator, especially when Zamazenta-Crowned is summoned onto the field. There are very few adversaries worthy of trying to outmaneuver this king. This became a problem. Truth be told, Zamazenta-Crowned was undoubtedly polarizing, as it hits unreasonably hard for a Pokemon with bolstered defenses thanks to the newly found Body Press. While it only ran one set and followed that set, didn't matter. That set was all that was needed. It broke everything in half. It made team building a massive challenge due to this burden. All things considered, Zamazenta-Crowned fit an interesting niche to perfection, and does so while greatly limiting the metagame. We were excited to dabble with it, but Body Press, clearly too much. Yeah, basically it's Iron Defense Body Press, Rest Crunch, or Rest Sleep Talk. It almost doesn't matter what the last two moves are. Because Iron Defense Body Press on that, it has so much bulk you're not able to beat it. It outspeeds a lot of metagame. Base 128 speed, absolutely ridiculous. I mean, like, what else are you going to do with it? I'm going to open up Showdown real quick, just so I can go over some of the sets that we were seeing. So, Zamazenta-Crowned and Chien-Pao. So, yeah. Let me... Really? Is it not showing? Really? Okay, hold up. What is this? Okay, there it is. I don't know. Technological difficulties, everybody. Anyway. So yeah, Zamazenta, you look at the stats. Like, it's going to get +1. And pretty much what you're going to run is either this, or you're going to run this. And you're more than likely going to see this. Why are you more than likely going to see this? Well, it outspeeds everything. Do you know what doesn't outspeed this? Very few things. In fact, you would only need to run this much speed if you wanted to be precise, because this would outspeed base 125s, which include Weavile. And since Weavile is not common whatsoever, this would be more appropriate, because now it just outspeeds Meowscarada, and now you get a little extra bulk out of it. And you didn't have to. More than likely you just wanted to speed tie other variants, because why not? Yes, you don't get a shield, you don't get an item, because you have to have this to get this form. But it's Iron Defense Body Press, and pretty much what happens with this, right? You have base 140 defenses. You're not going down in one hit ever. Like, ever. It's almost impossible to destroy this in one hit. Your Body Press is getting a boost upon entry into battle. You're just doing a lot. You're doing so much, it's ridiculous. And let's not even forget that Sleep Talk's an option. Once you get an Iron Defense up, it's impossible to break you on the physical side without a crit. Absolutely impossible. You still have Terra type to your advantage, so you can go either fighting, you can go Ghost, you can do a lot of things with the Terra type, and it's just going to work out for you. So, yeah, it's very difficult to counter this. On top of this, you could also run this with Behemoth Bash if you wanted to, so you could just break fairies. Like, there's just so much that this thing could do. It's just almost impossible to shut it down. But that was the problem. Chien-Pao, This is the set that I would run all the time. There's like almost no reason not to run this set. It's drawback free. All you would do is you would sit there, you'd spam Crunch, you'd spam Icicle Crash, you might click Sacred Sword on a prediction, and then you just Ice Shard to just pick off things that might be faster than you, like Scarf users. Like Scarf Meowscarada, for instance, you just Ice Shard it, it's gone. I mean, like, the same thing. Same thing with Dragapult. You just Ice Shard, boom, it's gone. It's absolutely insane how strong both of these Pokemon are. And, like, Zamazenta Hero, the other Zamazenta, I honestly think this is more of a threat than this Zamazenta, because not only is it faster, it's 10 base speed faster, which is basically extremely faster, but it's like, with base 115 defenses, it's still good. But the problem is, you get to run Leftovers, you get to run Choice Band, you get to run Assault Vest. You can do so much with this Pokemon, it's not even funny. Because I'm thinking about it like this, you run the same set as Iron Defense, Body Press, and then you have Crunch and Rest. You might not even need Rest. You might just have Sub. I forgot, this one's, yeah, no, the other one could run Rest. This one would run Sub. So, pretty much what happens with this Pokemon, you can also run Rest, by the way. Like, that's an option. If you can guarantee that your opponent only has physical attackers left, like, Rest is perfectly fine. But pretty much this will just run Sub Leftovers, Iron Defense, Body Press, Crunch. See, with the Crunch, what happens is, with Crunch, what's happening is, you hit Ghost types. And there you go. That's all you need. Because if they ever Terra out of a Ghost type, you just Body Press them. Because it's going to do way more than that Crunch probably will. So you're doing a good amount, because you got to think, this is still base 120 attack. You're still hitting very, very hard. It's absolutely insane to me. So yeah, that's just going to be one of the things. If we want to talk about the game in terms of offense, another Pokemon I might want people to start looking at is Sneasler. Because Sneasler, offensively, it feels really, really, really strong. The set that I've been running a lot, and I use the Dark Terra type. Pretty much what you're going to do with this thing, you're going to run Close Combat, you're going to run Dire Claw. If they ban Dire Claw, it's just going to become Poison Jab. So you run Close Combat, Dire Claw, and then you run Night Slash. The reason you run Night Slash over Terra Blast is because it's just in case, if you have to use Terra type on something else, at least now you have Dark coverage. The reason you go with this Dark coverage here is because not only does it make you immune to a Psychic, which can come out, or a Future Sight, possibly, it allows you to hit both Dragapult and Gholdengo, which otherwise wall this Pokemon completely. So you would run this over Acrobatics purely because it can hit those things. You Terra type and you get the stab from it, so you become a better defensive typing. And you also you keep your resistance to Sucker Punch from stuff like King Gambit. So this actually works out really, really well. And with Grassy Terrain up from Scarf Rillaboom, you can just run something like this, and this Pokemon it feels really stupid. And this is just the Unburdened set, mind you. With Poison Touch, you can run Choice Scarf. Like, I kind of want them to start looking at this Pokemon a little more, like this and Zamazenta. They feel like they're the next two things on the list. Ursaluna feels like it's on the list, but not as much anymore because of the Magearna ban. I haven't seen as much of Ursaluna lately. But that's because Trick Room has died down a little bit, and that's just because we lost Magearna, which was another one of those pivot Trick Roomers. You still have Slowking, don't get me wrong, you still got Slowking, you still got Hatterini. But yeah, big boy Ursaluna is still here to do a lot of stuff. And by the way, if you're going to run Scarf, you're going to run Poison Touch, just U-Turn, and that last slot. Same moveset as Swords Dance, but you just run this instead. And you would run this speed because you want to outspeed a Scarf Iron Valiant, or really just as many things as you possibly can. There you go. That's what you want to do. And odds are you're going to get Poison Touch eventually, especially paired with Dire Claw. Like, your chance to get a status through Dire Claw is ridiculous. And I think Dire Claw is an absolutely busted move. Like, this is just insane. It's a 50% chance to sleep, poison, or paralyze. Like, that can make would-be counters just completely not counters. I've had somebody, like, scream at me in the game because I gotta sleep on their Toxapex with this. And I just was like, oh, whatever. It's not like they won that game anyway, but it was like, you know, salt on the wound kind of thing. But yeah, these are the two I'd like to look at next. This one I'm not as afraid of, but I will say this about Ursaluna. If we're going to consider Stall a valid playstyle, this Pokemon completely invalidates Stall. Just basically through these three moves, Stall is completely invalidated. And I would run this speed because this way you outspeed Corviknight, and now you just have extra bulk on your physical defense, so you can take a close combat from something like Sneasler that's unboosted. Yeah, and you just look at this. Corviknight dies. Like, Corviknight's 2-hit KO by Facade. Like, it's not even close. It's very easy 2-hit KO. I can actually show you. Yeah, let's actually show you. And so we're gonna go to the calc. So we're gonna say Ursaluna. Sure, we're gonna go Flame Orb though. And not that. We're gonna go Guts because that's what that's supposed to be. And Facade. So we're gonna look at Facade and we're gonna look at Corviknight. We can, I'm gonna take this off of there. Yeah, whatever. Alright, so you look at Facade. This 34 to 40. You get a Swords Dance up, this is dead Corviknight. Look at that. Corviknight cannot ever roost this off. Can never roost this off. But this is absolutely insane just how much this Facade does. So, pretty much what I'm saying is, like, Ursaluna kind of invalidates Stall. There's nothing that can switch into it. If it gets a Swords Dance off, it's over. Like, I mean, you want to look at, Skeledirge real quick. So, Skeledirge, even the bulky set. And you're not even going to run Headlong Rush. You're going to run Earthquake. So, even with Earthquake, like, you don't even need the +2. You're basically destroying it. Yeah, like, pretty much you're just destroying it. Because, again, I forgot about Unaware. So it's like, yeah, no, Earthquake is just absolutely mauling it to death. Like, you don't have a chance against it. It can even Terra into a Fairy type. So let's say it does that. Oh, look at how much Earthquake did. It did 69% minimum. And now you can Facade it next turn. Like, what's it gonna do? Torch Song does 33? Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. Like, you're done. Like, you're completely done at that point. Like, it's ridiculous. You want to go to Clodsire? Sure, let's go to Clodsire. Actually, we can even do it like this. We can run Max Fizz Def Clodsire, right? Well, I'm going to go ahead and put Bolt. Max Fizz Def Bold. Look at this. Earthquake is still knocking it out. Even if you change into a Water type, Earthquake is doing 60. You can't even slack that off. Facade's just beating you down. Like, there's nothing that you can do about it. It absolutely breaks Stall. The only thing that can really take it on, you would think, is a Quagsire, which might end up on Stall. Here's how that goes. Facade. 2 Facades and it's done. It can't even switch into an Earthquake. Like, it's absolutely insane to me. Just how busted this Pokemon is. I mean, that's just how I feel. I think those are the 3 Pokemon they should look at next. The main thing I want to be looked at after that would be Light Clay, but all in all, I genuinely think that Sneasler and Zamazenta are the next 2 things to look at. They feel like they need. I don't know about Sneasler as much because I think Sneasler is manageable, semi-manageable. It's Dire Claw that needs to be looked at, to be completely honest with you. But Sneasler is for the most part manageable. Zamazenta, however, is not. This thing does not feel manageable in the slightest. This Pokemon just feels like it's a little too strong for OU. I mean, hell, like, you can even run Howl sets. I've seen somebody run a Howl set. I've seen Banded to catch things off guard because it'll run like Stone Edge, Crunch, Close Combat. And it's just, it's too much. It's just really, really strong right now. But anyway, that's all. That's all the video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below about the Chien-Pao and Zamazenta ban. What would you like to see come into the radar next? Let me know your thoughts on that. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you'd like to please hit the like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you want to see videos similar to this one. And we're going to see all of you in the next video of the video. Take care, everybody.